And sometimes they're just people who are not very sociable.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that, because by the time you got married to her, you knew that she had these strengths and she had these particular weaknesses.
Yeah.
So we can't now bring in Jezebel issues on that particular issue.
Yeah.
So the issue is this: figure out what are the strengths of your wife and build on those particular strengths.
Yeah.
In particulars where there is a need of sociability, then probably you can orient her on the few areas where, when you're going to public, you know, just show her what she needs to do. Yeah, talk to her openly about it. You know, I said making a woman pregnant does not make her a wife. You remember I said that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because if
It doesn't make you a husband.
Yeah, and doesn't make you a husband.
Yeah.
Your duty as a husband is that you have to learn to orient your wife into your life. So if there are particular things that you want, yeah, train your wife.
All right.
Yeah.
Lillian, I think you should actually answer this. And coming from different worlds, someone is asking, is physical, coming from different physical worlds, is it superior as opposed to coming from, you know, what you would call a purposeful world? Or what you're saying is, in terms of you share in your mind and thought and stuff like that, but then in terms of physical worlds, where you come from, in terms of the school of thought, in terms of how you approach life, is totally different. What is important?
The most important thing in life is purpose.
Purpose.
Every day I wake up in the morning, even before I got married, I tell God, let me not live this day in vain. Let me live it according to what you want me to live.
Yeah.
Yeah? So purpose is everything, because purpose will take you to your destiny.
Yeah.
Yeah? You follow your purpose, you get to your destiny.
All right.
So if you get into a relationship with someone who is from physically a different place, that does not matter.
All right.
As long as your purposes can come and merge and you move forward in the same direction, then you're good.
In less than a minute, and I hope both of you can answer that, the question on intimacy, because it came up on my timeline like about 10 times. And it's, I mean, how do you deal with the arguments around intimacy? I know you know what I mean by when I'm saying arguments around intimacy.
The arguments around
yes,
intimacy.
how do you deal with that? And then we'll throw it to Pastor.
This is very interesting.
Yeah.
First of all, there shouldn't be arguments around intimacy.
There shouldn't?
There shouldn't.
Okay.
But in the
Pastor
event,
said it's all right.
in the event that they occur, I think the both of you need to understand what the other person needs, what the other person wants, and what is a right to the other person. So once you understand that, then you can actually ask for it nicely in the context of, this is my right, or this is what I need, or there's a risk of something if I don't get this.
All right.
Of course, you don't threaten him or her, but let her come to an understanding that
Choices have consequences.
Yes.
yes.
But getting to the point of ending things. Like, I'm tired, I'm done, we're not moving in the same direction, we don't have the same purpose, I have seen this, and I need to end this. But then there's always the hangover. I really want to go, but there's something that still pulls me back. Taking that decision, how do you take the decision to move?
Okay, now, on this, I'm not going to speak in terms of marriage.
Yeah.
Because as a pastor, I'm only
You can't
licensed.
encourage people to,
yes,
I
can do. But where matters to do with relationship is concerned, it's very, very important. Bishop Allen is a very good friend of mine. I love his counsel. And one of the things that he says is this: even if you change your mind on Saturday morning, let the people know. Because it is better to have a broken relationship than a broken marriage.
Wow.
At the point, but let me tell you, it's very, very easy for you to get away before you get in. So even if you change your mind on Friday night, and you're supposed to marry on Saturday morning, and you know very well if you get into this thing, it is a mistake, please, just exit.
All right.
Yeah,
Let me give you, each and every one of you, 30 seconds to wind up, because we have to wind this up. So we'll start with you. I will end on that line, because here's where
Okay. Have a clear intention. That's what I would say. A clear intention as to where you want to go. And especially for men. You're the head of the house.
I think that is your camera. You can talk to them on the camera.
All right. You're the head of the relationship. You're the head of the house. If you do not have vision, all of you are sinking in that ship. So you must have intent, first of all, to make it known to her and to everybody around you where you're headed, the vision that you're having, basically that, and other things will fit in.
Then the rest will follow.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I'd like to say something about intimacy in relationships. There's no
Your
cut
this one. Go ahead.
This one, okay. Thank you. There's no formula to intimacy. It is what you and your partner define. So if walking around holding hands works for you, then that is good.
Public display of affection.
Well, I don't call it that. You'll see us when walking out with my husband. That's how we walk in town, in church, everywhere.
Holding hands?
Yes, we are used to that. And yeah, we are comfortable with it. Some people might call it a public display of affection. Well, but you define your own way of intimacy.
All right.
Yes.
And this conversation doesn't stop here because you have an upcoming talk conference.
Yes,
on the same thing.
Yes,
where?
yeah, I will be having a conference or at Clarion Hotel.
Okay.
You can check it on my Twitter handle at Pastor Danson or Facebook account at Pastor Danson. And I will be dealing with these complications. Now I'll start from the mental complications, the hormonal complications, individual complications.
Oh my God, you're dealing with even hormonal complications.
Yeah, because most of the people are high on hormones when they get into a relationship. Then when they sober up, they realize they have a terrible hangover. So, you can check my accounts, the details are there. The details are there, yes. And this is what I want to say. Please, let the person who you want to build a relationship with prove their seriousness by reading about relationships. If there is no proof of reading about it, don't allow an amateur to handle your heart.
Thank you.
Good. That is difficult. Can you repeat that again?
Yeah.
On the camera?
Yes, and that's what we'll be dealing with in the conference at Clarion Hotel.
Yes.
Let me tell you this. I'm going to say it again. If someone is serious about getting into a relationship with you, let them prove their seriousness by studying about relationships. Do not allow an amateur to handle your heart.
Better said. In a way, I couldn't say it, and I mean that should be the conclusion, right?
Yeah.
Willie, I saw your message, and I will pass it over to Pastor. I also saw your message. This is what about you're dating a man who wants to sleep with you, yet you're not ready for it. Please advise, and I think run away, isn't it?
No,
that is the advice.
Yeah.
Run away. Run away. Very quickly, don't forget that we are all Adam and Eve offsprings, and Ephesians chapter 4 and 5 has answers to all family questions. Somebody says, I'm following the conversation, feeling indeed to talk about family matters. This is Victor Tyler Machio. Beth Minor says, Aki, did you say press toothpaste? And of course, this is you're talking about. Where did these comments disappear to? Somebody's saying, interesting conversation. Maybe we need to rethink relationships once more. Unfortunately, can't go on and on because time is really against me. But for all of you that sent your inboxes on Facebook, as well as your comments on Twitter and SMS lines, we saw them. Anything that needs urgent attention will be directed to Pastor and the couple here to see how they can deal with it. The conference, you're charging?
Yes, it's 1,000 bob.
That's not much money.
There is not much, yes. Thank you.
Guys, good night. God bless you. We'll see you around. And of course, we get another time next year. We bring this conversation again early next year.
Yes.
We need to keep talking about these things because they're very interesting. And as you realize, it generates a lot of emotion when you're talking about relationships.
Yes,
because people are dying in the name of love. As well as interestingly, what I found interesting is we have not talked about love just yet.
Yes. We've only talked about wisdom. Next time we'll talk about love.
So mapenzi ni ufala. No, okay. Good night. God bless.
Thank you.
God bless you too.